Hey, what's up guys? This is Guy here with KBTrainings. Today I'm going to show you how to configure LACP on the FortiGate. So I have in front of me the FortiGate 60E. This is a device on which I've made a video already. I showed you last time how I configured WAN 1, WAN 2 and all the LAN port, and I also did LACP, and I promised that I will come back with a video on LACP. So this is it, and I have next to me an old Cisco switch. This is a Catalyst 3550, and on top of the Cisco Catalyst I have the QSW21042S. It's a switch from QNAP. I'll be making a video on this as well. This is a beautiful switch with two 10 gig ports here, and it also has four 2.5 gigabit per second interfaces. We'll talk about it later, but for now I'm just using it to share my internet connection. So right now the FortiGate is connected to the internet. If you take a look at here, this is the FortiGate dashboard. We have internet connectivity through WAN 1, and I also have this cable here coming to this switch to share internet connection with my computer here. So as you can see, it's connected to the internet. And with me, I also have this MacBook here sitting for testing. This is going to be the device where we're going to make sure that we have internet access with those LACP links that we are going to configure. And I have these two cables. These are the cables that we're going to use to connect two of these ports, 1, 2, to the port 1, 3 on the switch. And one of my posts on Instagram says that I'm going to configure LACP on a D-Link switch as well. I have it right next to me, but it was just too much things on the table. So I just set the LACP, the D-Link aside. We're just going to do it on the switch, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the UniFi switch that I have in my network rack. So first of all, what is LACP? LACP means Link Aggregation Configuration Protocol. It's an IEEE standard that is used to aggregate links inside a bundle. We usually it's called a LAG, a bundle, or Cisco calls it Ether channel. So you create an Ether channel to have multiple links inside the Ether channel for many reasons. First of all, if you want to increase the bandwidth, I'd say increase because it doesn't give you a total bandwidth in a single tunnel, like a single link, but you just have all those multiple links active at the same time. Let's say we have two devices here. We have this one, 1 gigabyte, 1 gigabyte, and let's assume these one also are 1 gig, 1 gig. When we connect them, we don't get a 2 gigabyte per second link, but instead we have two 1 gigabyte per second that are active at the same time. So first of all, you do that to get those two connections or two links active, or multiple links active at the same time, which means that you are going around spanning tree protocol. So spanning tree protocol will treat those links as a single link and will not block any of them. You know that if you connect those two links, if you have spanning tree configured normally, you don't have LACP or any link aggregation, spanning tree is going to block one of those links to avoid a loop. So that's why we put it in a bundle Ethernet. And usually with service provider, I work for service providers. Usually when we have like a peering connection with another of our peers, and if you don't know what peering is, I'm talking about it in my CCNA course that is available on KBTrainings.com. You can go from zero to engineer, start or boost your career in the IT. So when we are peering, for example, we are moving massive amount of traffic. So usually 1 or 100 gigabit per second will not be sufficient. We need 15 of them in a bundle, for example. So we have a 1.5 terabit per second going to our peers, and that's how it's done. So we get 100 gigabit per second inside the bundle. Every vendor has a limit. Like for the Cisco Catalyst, I know the limit is 8 interfaces that you can have in an Ether channel, but it depends on the model. It depends on the brand. Like the D-Link, the small D-Link, it was just able to do 4 interfaces. So today I'm going to show you how to configure LACP on the FortiGate, and I'll also do show you some command for troubleshooting as well. And at the end of our configuration, we'll make sure that the MacBook will still be connected even if we remove one of the links inside the LACP, and the other one will take over, and we can remove the second one and see how it's going to react. So right now, as I said, this is our FortiGate. I just have internet connectivity here, and if I go under network interfaces, you can see that we we have this FortiLink LACP or link aggregation that is already configured. We're not going to take a look at that. So we have the internal interface with the interface number 7 that I'm using here to connect to the GUI. And we have everything still available except WAN 1 that is now being used for internet. And if I'm going to show you how to configure it in the GUI, and we'll also go in the CLI, I'll do that there as well. So if I go in the CLI, I can do show system interface. So you can see all the different interfaces that we have here. Here we have the WAN 1 that I currently use, and we also have the internal. This is the IP that I'm currently using. And to check LACP or to see if it's there or even exists, we can do diagnose netlink aggregate list. This will show us the list of link aggregations that we have. For now, we have the FortiLink that comes by default with the device, and it's down anyway. So we're going to add our own link aggregation here. As I told you, for Cisco, it's called Ether channel. So I can come here and do show Ether channel. There's no Ether channel available here. I can do show IP interface brief. You can see that we have just two VLAN interfaces, the VLAN 1 and the VLAN 35. I did this because the VLAN 35 is being used for internet connectivity, just like I told you, between my main computer that I have here on which I'm doing the recording. So this is my main computer, and I have the VLAN 1 available. That's where the MacBook is going to connect to. I don't have any other interface or anything else configured. I just have these two ports here that are down. I'll make sure they're up before we continue. Okay, so that's all we have. If I do show VLAN brief, I just have two VLANs, as I said. The VLAN 1 where all the ports are except the port 33 that is in the VLAN 35, and that's it. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to configure LACP on the FortiGate. First of all, I'll go under new, create new, and I'm going to create a new interface. I'll give it a name of LACP, and the alias can still be LACP. What is the type of port we are creating? So we are creating an Ether channel port. So I'm going to select 802.3 AD. 802.3 AD is the code for LACP. What are the members of these port aggregations? I'm going to take the number 1 and number 2. What is the role? It's still a LAN. What is the IP on it? I'm going to give it 10.0.0.1 and the subnet mask of /24. What else? We can ping it, and I also need a DHCP server because the MacBook needs to get a DHCP from the FortiGate. Okay, that's it. Nothing else. I'm going to click OK. So once I do that, we have LACP created here. This is our LACP interface, and if I go in the CLI, I do the same command. List will show me that I now have a new LACP link aggregation. This one here, the algorithm L4, means that we are using layer 4 information to balance the traffic across the different links that you have. If we see L2 here, means that we use the source and the destination IP. If it's layer 3, we use layer 3 information. We use source and destination IP. No, did I say IP before? And if you have layer 4, so we use layer 4 information, IP, MAC address, and the port number. And the mode here is active. The status is down. Yep. And if I do diagnose, aggregate, name LACP, it's going to give me some information on our LACP link. Here we can have the MAC address of the internal 1, internal 2. We can see that it's currently down. There's not much to see here. I'm going to turn it up and we're going to see what happens. But before doing that, I also need to make sure that Cisco is ready for Ether channel. So what I'm going to do is go under the configuration mode and grab the interface fast Ethernet 0/1 and the fast Ethernet 0/3. I'm doing that because those are the two interfaces that are up here, so I won't have a hard time removing the cables. Okay, so I'm grabbing these two links. Nope, interface range. Okay, forgot range. So what I'm gonna do is create a channel group channel group number 1 mode. So we have different modes here. By the way, LACP, as I said, is universal. It's from IEEE, so you're going to find it in most devices. Like a lot of vendors are implementing LACP. But Cisco also has what is called PAGP or PAGP. It's one of their own protocol that you can use between Cisco devices. And for LACP, for PAGP, as you can see, if we use auto or desirable, that's for PAGP. But here we're going to use LACP, so I'm going to use active. And active means that your device will be also initiating the connection or initiating the negotiation for LACP. You will not just wait. If you put it in passive, it will wait for the other device to initiate. So I will do active here, and yeah, that's it. So port channel number 1 is created. If I do show IP interface brief, you can see that I now have the port channel number 1. It's here and it's up. Oh, I also need to turn on those ports. Okay, I need to do no shuts here. Good. All right, so now I think I'm ready to connect the FortiGate to the switch. So I do port 1 connected to port 1 on the switch. And then we have the port 2 connected to port 2. Oh no, port 3. You're going to see that both 1 and 2 are now active. That's good. And if you look at the switch, it's blinking right now. 1 and 3, none of them is blocked. Both of them are active. If we also look at the FortiGate, 1 and 2 are blinking and everything is fine. I just posted a video on Instagram. I even put it as a story on YouTube explaining why this one is amber instead of green, because we're running at 100 megabit per second. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you better do that, because I share a lot of things there, a lot of behind the scene and things like that. All right, so quickly, this is how you activate link aggregation on a UniFi switch. Here I have my main switch. Once I click on it, I go on settings, and let's say, for example, I want to aggregate the port number 21 and number 22. What I'm going to do is click on the port number 21, come down here where it says port profile override, and change the operations from switching to aggregate. Once I do that, it's asking me what port I want to aggregate with, and I'm going to select the port 22, and as soon as I click apply, it's going to bundle the port 21 and 22. This is our MacBook that we're going to connect to the switch. Let me connect it, and we should have an IP address over here. Let's see. Okay, the MacBook is connected. Let's wait for it to grab an IP. All right, so the MacBook has an IP. So we still don't have access to the internet because I haven't configured the firewall policy in the FortiGate yet. So what I'm going to do is go under policy and objects and select firewall policy. I'm going to create a new policy for LACP for the link that were created. I'm going to name it LACP to internet. And incoming interface is going to be LACP. Outgoing interface, it will be WAN interface. Source, I'll just take all. Destination, all. Service, all. I think that's it. So as soon as I do that and hit OK, the MacBook should now see the light of the internet. So it's running fine now. So we're going to test to see if unplugging one of these links will drop the connection. So if I unplug the number 3 on the switch, the device doesn't even care. The sessions are still going because the other link or the second link is taking over if the session was on here. So I'm going to plug it back, and I will wait for it to come fully up, and then I'm going to disconnect the second one to see if there is any change in the pings that we have here as well. So let me unplug the second one here. The MacBook is still pinging without any problem. So the sessions are balanced, and if we had many computers here, those sessions would be balanced across those different links. Depending on the algorithm that I showed you, it's either taking the layer 2, layer 3, or layer 4 information. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, leave it in a comment. I'll be glad to respond. And if you like the video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel for more projects like this. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Take care and bye.